Coleman County.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What part of Coleman County?
Vinemont.
Okay, that's still there, I think.
Yeah.
What was your dad doing?
Farmer.
Any particular crops he raised, or just some of everything?
Just a little bit of everything. Cotton, corn.
He wasn't into cotton. It was vegetables. It wasn't cotton farming.
Yeah, we cotton farm too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of it. We had 107 acres. We had cotton on about 20 acres of it all the time. Strawberries.
Really?
Did y'all hire people to pick it, or?
Yeah. Hired people and pick it ourselves.
Does something still grow out in the wild? We used to call rabbit strawberries. Little bitty
right.
old things.
They used to grow out here in the backyard.
I used to try to feed them to my dog, and the dog wouldn't eat rabbit strawberries.
Didn't hardly have
Yeah,
any
I
taste
caught
at
a
all
lot.
to them. Yeah.
Wild strawberries all around my yard.
Okay, you grew up there, went to schools up there in Coleman County?
Went to school at Vinemont Junior High, Coleman High School.
Beaumont Junior High, Coleman High School. Coleman County High School?
Yeah.
Play football or in the band or anything?
Played basketball.
Oh, really? What position?
Forward.
That was your only sport?
The only sport.
Now, did you go in the Army from there, or were you down here, or what? Tell me how you got in the Army.
I went to a government school, welding school, over here in North Birmingham. I boarded with my brother that lived in Aniana, and we rode a government bus to North Birmingham every day.
From Aniana?
From Aniana to North Birmingham to welding school. And I,
Had the war started by then?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was sitting over there in that lunchroom in North Birmingham when they attacked Pearl Harbor.
So you were out there on a Sunday morning when it happened?
Yeah.
Now, was this part of a SIPCO, or was this a government school for welders?
Government school.
Okay. It wasn't on the SIPCO land or anything?
No.
Okay. And downtown North Birmingham, or whereabouts?
Yes, downtown, and I can't remember that old building that they had. Old building there. My sister used to work there, and I can't remember the name of it. But Reed Manufacturing Company finally moved in there.
Reed Manufacturing?
Yeah. And I welded for them. First job I had after I come out of service.
So you were working on a Sunday morning when it happened, or you were at your home when it happened?
I was at that restaurant. They had a restaurant in that plant.
Now, you were working for Reed at that time, or still in the welding school?
I was in welding school.
Okay. Now, so Reed was the first company you went to work for?
Reams.
Reams.
You know,
RHEEM.
the hot water heater.
Ream, I believe. I don't know if it's 2 E's or 1 E.
They built air conditioners. Hot water heaters.
Okay.
We welded the ends in them hot water heaters. That was after I come out of service.
Okay, so when did you go in, or did you volunteer, or the draft get you, or tell me about that?
I was drafted. I was working in Mobile Shipyard, and
Really?
yeah, I done got a job. I finished up welding school. I got a job welding shipyard down there. And then I got aggravated about something, and I went to Decatur Iron and Steel Shipyard. Went to work up there.
They had a shipyard in Decatur?
Small one, building small ships.
Okay. For the
Yeah.
military?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was drafted from there.
Now, in Decatur, you say small ships, landing craft type ships, or
Yeah.
or sub chasers, or something small?
They were small. I don't really remember what.
Okay.
Seemed like to me they hauled something in it. I don't remember.
Okay. Okay, so you got drafted what year?
That must have been the early part of 42.
I got his,
Okay, that's good, fine. Now, you were married then or single?
No, I was saying,
Single.
yeah, okay. This is his, discharge, and it's got his induction date
Oh,
there.
good, we'll look at that before we leave here.
Okay.
Dude, you got all that stuff.
I got discharge, got a lot of papers, well, several.
Mm-hmm. You know, when I did a kind of a family history on my wife's family, a little Christmas present for her one year. And her daddy was discharged from an Army hospital in Atlanta. We went out and found the property where that hospital was. It's now a little community airport.
Is that
But she was surprised. Said, "You mean you can just walk in the courthouse and ask for a copy of this?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Are you related to it?" I said, "Well, father-in-law." "Oh, okay. Well, here's your copy. Pay $20." Okay, so you were drafted in the early part of 42. Where'd you train at? Basic training.
it used to be called Camp Hood, but it's Fort Hood now.
Oh, yeah, Fort Hood. You took basic there?
Yeah. Yeah, it was called Camp Hood.
Okay. And where'd you go for your advanced training? Your artillery school?
You know, we finished training there in Camp Hood, and they put us on a train. They hadn't really organized our 825th unit,
Mm-hmm.
and they put us on a train there and sent us to Gruber, Texas, Gruber, Oklahoma.
There's still a military facility of some sort there.
Yeah, I guess so, Gruber, Oklahoma. And we never did get off the train. We just hooked on to another outfit that was there and trained there, and come straight back to Camp Hood and had to go through basic training again.
You kidding me?
Absolutely true. Had to go through basic.
Now that sounds like how well the Army's organized.
Never did get off the train at Gruber, Oklahoma. Just hooked to their train and went straight back to.
And went through basic again.
Yeah.
So that's why you were so good with marksmanship. You gone through it twice.
One reason I told him I wanted to be gunner on that gun, because that was my ticket home. I was afraid somebody would get on it didn't want to learn how.
Okay.
And I learned how, and I could really hit with that thing.
Now you're referring to the carbine?
I'm talking about the 3-inch,
Okay.
6 millimeter.
So now your 825th, it had already organized at this point?
Organized it, got that group from Gruber and come back to Fort Hood
Okay.
and organized there.
Okay, so you organized, so you went to Oklahoma, picked up some guys, and now did they go back through, they went through basic training?
I don't believe they've been through basic training.
That's probably the reason they did all
Yeah, that's the
over
reason they
again.
went back, and we had to go through it with them again.
Mm-hmm. So okay, you get to Gruber, I mean, you get to Camp Hood, I guess it's springtime of 42, because you said you were drafted in early 42.
I believe I would, yeah.
Now, you were still a single guy, you weren't married or nothing, okay.
Same.
Now, did you have any brothers that served, or were you the only one that served?
I was the only one in the family that had to serve.
Okay. How big was your family?
There's 7 of us.
All brothers?
No, it's 3 girls and 4 boys.
How did they not have to serve?
They were older and married. I was the youngest boy. I could have said like my neighbor. He said he knew 2 that wasn't gonna go. That was him and the guy that come after him.
Mm-hmm. You know, when I was getting drafted, late 67, Daddy said, now don't you do nothing to get out of doing stuff. I found his marriage certificate. He got married about a week after we declared war in 1917. And he said, Well, we hurried up and got married because it said in the newspaper if you were married, you wouldn't get drafted. And he's telling me not to do anything to get out of doing the right stuff. And I said, okay, Daddy.
He's teaching you right.
He's teaching me. Okay, so you go back through basic, and then do you stay at Camp Hood for your training on the 3-inch gun, or you go somewhere else?
We train right there on the 3-inch gun.
And your 825th formed after basic with you guys and the others.
Right.
Now, in the 825th, about how many men were in that unit? That was a battalion.
About 1,200.
Woo.
They had a reconnaissance company at that time too, but they finally done away with the reconnaissance company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably more like 1,000.
Okay. Now, a 3-inch gun, how many men was on a crew for that?
Well, there were 11 of us, including the driver and the gun commander and the gunner.
Okay.
There was 11.
So I guess that included the vehicle that was towing you to where you were needed.
Half-track driver.
Half-track, okay.
Yeah. Hey, my driver lives up here at Garden City,
Hmm.
still living.
Garden City, I never heard of that. Where is it at?
That's about 15 miles south of Coleman.
Okay. Did you know him before going in the military, since he was from Coleman County?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Now, what was your job on the gun crew?
I was gunner.
Okay. So you were the last one. You actually fired the gun.
We had a guy standing there and I pulled a lanyard, which I called the trigger.
Okay. So you
I
pulled.
set the sights up and I'd have a fire. He knew I was on that target and he'd pull the lanyard.
Okay.
Fire. And that side had windage on it, how much the wind was blowing.
Oh, really?
Yardage on it, how many yards you was, and your gun commander was telling you that. Right left, 400 yards. Wind, you got your own wind, he didn't give.
Well, now that's the thing, because even aircraft bombardiers, they had to guess when they could blow bombs off. How in the world do you guess what the wind is, or you just make a guess? Look at how the trees are blowing and things like that around you.
Like that, yeah. You could say 10 mile an hour wind, you know, instead of 10 mile an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You'd shoot that far in front of it. And I mean by the speed. If that tank was running 30 miles an hour, you'd lead him by that 30 mile an hour.
Okay. Now, since you set the sights, was that gun, did you just kneel by it, or did it have, was it a big enough gun to have seats and you sat on it like bigger guns?
When you pull it into action,
And it's on tires, isn't it?
it's on tires and it has trails that just opens up like that.
Oh yeah, like a lot of guns have. Uh-huh.
Yeah, then you, at the end of them trails, they got spades on the end to dig in the ground. But over there in Belgium where I was firing it, so it wouldn't dig in. It was on
Ground?
cobblestone street.
Okay.
It'd recoil back about
Oh
10
man.
recoil back about 10 feet. I got knocked off of it once,
Mm-hmm.
got pinned in under it.
Let's see here. Is that,
I downloaded these off the internet. Of course, that's
Okay,
a picture of
okay.
him. I've got 2 or 3 pictures off the internet. That's him by it before.
okay.
This is, I got that off the internet. That's.
Okay,
I
that's
thought
it,
that
that's
was
it.
neat what they were putting on the shell there.
All right.
This is another view of it.
Okay, that's a good view. Uh-huh.
And this is, they're just getting ready to set it up, looks like there.
We could pull that thing up, put it into action in 60 seconds.
There's the business end of it.
Okay.
The other one back there, the only thing that, according to the internet, the only thing they use them for now is 21 gun salutes, like with presidents or whoever, you know. That's what but they still have them and still use them, but I think that's what they use them for.
So the half track would pull you to where you needed, and you could unhitch it and have it firing in 60 seconds. I guess the half-track carried your ammunition.
Carried ammunition, all our sleeping bag and everything. Everything they had was right there in that half track.
Didn't that have a machine gun on it too? Or
Yeah.
some of them did, the Jaws?
Yeah.
Now, did you all operate just kind of individually? This one gun would go where it was needed, or did you act as a battery, or how did tank destroyers operate?
They usually send at least 2 guns, 2 crews.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all they sent.
Was it always roadblocks, or were you just set up and wait for something to come along?
We would set up roadblocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, okay, back up a little bit. You get to Europe. What year and what month is it? When you get to France, what year is it?
Oh, we went to England first, and of course, caught a boat and went to Normandy Beach.
Okay.
Got off Normandy Beach.
Was it shortly after the invasion or months and months after?
It was just as we was in the second wave, maybe 3 days after.
Okay.
You went over on either the Queen Elizabeth or the Queen Mary. You don't know,
Yeah,
don't remember which.
but we went over from New York to England or Scotland.
Yeah, didn't you shoot the gun in Wales? Or
Yeah,
before you went?
that was my first time to shoot an enemy was from Wales. We had orders to send 2 guns to Wales for indirect fire. We didn't know what was shooting at or nothing. We went over and set up a gun and was firing. We must have fired about 10 rounds, and they said, march order, get ready to leave. And we left. I said, I went and asked our lieutenant, I said, what were we shooting at? He said, we just sank a German ship. So we done that from Wales.
So you must have been close to the beach or on some cliffs or something.
Yeah, we drove down to the beach.
Now this was a submarine, or what kind of German vessel was it?
I don't know. All I know it must have been above the water, or we couldn't have hit it.
You didn't even see it, did you?
No, I never saw it. I remember that place over there. We went up little hills. I mean, steep like that. And on each one of them hills was grapevines. And back in the woods, you could see castles. And we went to one of them. They didn't want us to come in. Of course, we didn't go in.
Mm-hmm.
But they had castles all over the mountains.
Wow. So you went first to Scotland and then down to Wales.
Well, we went to England.
To England first.
Macclesfield, England, yeah.
Okay.
And we left Macclesfield and went to Wales.
Okay. The 825th, was it attached to any particular divisions, or would you just go wherever you?
Oh, it's attached to, started off, I believe it was 12th Army. That was Army headquarters.
Okay.
That's where,
That's going to be our photographer.
Okay.
that's where our general was.
Hey, you know how you doing? Wayne Millican.
Jerry?
Pleased to meet you, Jerry.
Come on in here.
Yeah, probably, I used to cover them, but,
Come on in.
All right, now this is Mr. Millican. There's a picture of him over yonder. Y'all just take a couple of minutes and do what you need to do.
And then we got attached to 3rd Army, Patton's Army.
Mm-hmm.
Attached to that. I think it was attached to the 3rd Army when we was fighting in Rochefort, Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't y'all guard them sometimes
We guarded all them generals.
from time to time?
Jerry, that golden patch is the Tank Destroyer Battalion. If you can get something of that.
this one right here?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay,
But-
okay. I can do that, yeah.
Angry Panther or whatever on it.
Hey, I've got another one that's out, if that would make it easier.
You got one out?
Yeah, it's one that he wore. It's a little dingy, but I mean,
All right, it'll show, yeah.
will that be better?
Yeah, this may be up against that,
Right there.
black background, be good, huh? Okay, got it now.
Okay, you were attached to the Third Army. Any particular division within the Third Army?
Just Third Army's all I knew.
Okay. Now, on a day-to-day basis, you're mostly knocking out tanks or any kind of vehicle. You were not, in other words, you weren't used like a regular 105 or something like that, just to
Shooting indirect.
just
no.
shooting. Okay.
We shot mostly direct fire, but we could shoot indirect.
Okay.
Our gun would shoot 14 miles.
14 miles. You know, when you say anti-tank gun, I'm thinking you always, your target is a couple hundred yards away.
Shoot, that gun would shoot 500 yards out there, 600, 800 yards. If you could see the target that far.
Okay.
I'm gonna brag on myself, but
Go right ahead.
did some maneuvers in Tennessee. And every weekend we'd have say on Wednesday. Maneuvers would be over for that week, but we had to go to the firing range. They had moving target. They'd say that, oh, there's 4 guns. They say the one that shoots the best gets a weekend home. And I'd get that weekend home every week.
And you could get from Fort Hood, Camp Hood, back to Coleman County that fast?
No, I was in Nashville, around Nashville, on
Okay.
maneuvers.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and I'd come from Nashville down home every weekend. Hitchhiking,
Ooh-wee.
hitchhiking, yeah. They'd pick you up back in if you had a uniform on.
Okay. Tell me some more about what kind of targets you were, tanks and tanks only, or any vehicle that moved?
I shot 2 trains off the track over there
Really?
in Belgium. I think I got a little right up there about it.
What, aiming at the locomotive?
They would, over there in Belgium, we was this little old place, and it wasn't a town, it was just out in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a little old store and a beer joint together.
Mm-hmm.
We set up right beside of that. And my lieutenant told me, says there, Germans are taking them, capturing them Belgian people, engineers, conductors and all them, robbing them of their watch, their money and everything, and loading the front end of that engine down with TNT and sending it down, gonna send it down here and gonna blow up whatever it hits.
Mm-hmm.
Says when it comes down here, put one through the hood, whatever we call it,
Cab or
cab, yeah. Put a high explosive through the, high explosive shell through the cab, and then shoot a armored piercing into the blower.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did, and boy, steam just covered it up. Stopped it before it went down and exploded.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was 2 incidents there that I shot something besides the tank.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd use that gun when I was in battle. If a sniper got shooting me out of a 2-story building or something,
Mm-hmm.
I'd find out where he is, I'd shoot the top of that building off.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot through a window or whatever.
that when they got on to you for wasting ammunition.
Yeah, my lieutenant, I was shooting at snipers. He hollered down there and said, that's that damn Millican. Said, tell him quit wasting them big shells on one person. I said, tell him I'm gonna shoot him as long as I got him.
Well, snipers will kill you just as sure as a shell will kill you.
I sure. He thought we was wasting ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't figure it a waste. I figured it a lifesaver. But I'll say this too, we didn't fight as near as much as a lot of people over there did.
Really? Tell me.
We was, like I started to tell you a while ago, we was guards when we first went over there. We guarded, Army headquarters started out,
Mm-hmm.
Eisenhower and Bradley and all them. And, we'd have to guard wherever the airport, guard the airport when they come in.
Mm-hmm.
They come in, the plane, left the plane there, we had to guard that plane till they got back and took off.
Mm-hmm.
And, then we had to guard, radio stations. There in Luxembourg, that was the strongest relay station they had in Europe, Luxembourg. And we had to guard it for a long time. So that's the reason I say, no, we didn't fight as much as some of them did.
Mm-hmm.